Oh, finally, yesterday, Tesla, they released the picture of the first production Model 3. It looks freaking gorgeous. Oh, yeah, the black one, number one, apparently it belongs to Elon Musk. Yeah, that's cool. But they will start rolling out those cars now. And I haven't really talked too much about the Model 3, but I think it's about time I talk a little bit about that car. So, in this video, I will try to talk about why you should get a Model 3 and maybe why you shouldn't get one. So the one and the most obvious reason to get a Model 3 is the Supercharger support. As many of you guys might not even know too much about the Supercharger network. The Supercharger network is freaking awesome, just to put it that way, because there are really three main reasons why the Supercharger network is so good. One is that it charges about 2 to 3 times faster than the other chargers. And two is that at each site you have usually like 6 to 12, some places even freaking 20 stalls where you can plug in. And that means that the chance of having to wait is really low. And the last really good reason is that it is a seamless network run by Tesla. And that means you don't have to fiddle around with like RFIDs or app, whatever. You have everything in the screen. You can see the live status, where they are. And if you have to pay for it, some cars have to pay for it, then Tesla will bill you. Or if you have free supercharging, all you have to do is plug in, and that's it. You want to travel from Oslo to Rome, you just plug it in every time, whereas the other providers, if you have a Nissan Leaf or whatever, you have to get RFID for Fortum, and then one for Clever, and then RVE, and then I don't know. You need like all this stuff. It's not the same. I mean, it's not the car manufacturer's fault. It's the provider's fault, because they should have a bank terminal or something. You can use a Visa card to pay like you do on a gas station. But that means that yes, Supercharger network has a great advantage, and Model 3, because it supports it, is like king. Yeah. Another thing is that the Model 3 will have all-wheel drive, and no other car in that class offers all-wheel drive. They're either front-wheel drive or back rear-wheel drive. But that one won't be out yet. In the early days, yes, you will have only rear-wheel drive, but it will come. But not only that, but also Model 3 will also have pretty like class-leading performance. Some of the most powerful ones, like right now, is Opel Ampere E, 200 horsepower. Yeah, it really kicks, but I suspect that the Model 3 will have, well, the top spec, probably twice that power, and it just goes really crazy. Yeah, but also it will cost a bit more. But I think even the base model will have pretty good acceleration, probably better than the other ones. And also another reason to get a Model 3 is that it has outstanding tech. So you have, well, you can see in the picture, that they have included Autopilot 2 hardware, and that means it will be able to drive itself better than my car. Yeah. And not only that, but you also have safety features, like automatic braking and like blind spot warning or whatever. And also you have app support. Not every car in that class has app support, so that means you can check temperature in the car, preheat it, start charging, whatever. See the position. It's very nice. If you're used to it, it's nice. And another nice thing is that it will probably have a powerful onboard charger. Maybe, most likely, it would use the same charger as this one. They share the hardware. That means 16.5 kilowatt onboard charger. It's always nice to have the ability to charge faster if you don't have DC. You have at least 400 volts available. Yeah, so that's always a good thing. And not every car in that class has 400 volt support. Only Zoe and the Mercedes Benz B class and the new i3 has 400 volt support. Okay, and also most likely, we don't know for sure, but most likely, the Tesla will be able to use CHAdeMO adapter, and that means you can choose whether you want to supercharge or you want to use it on whatever charging network you have there. So that gives the car a lot more flexibility. I also use it a lot. I use a trailer or something. It's so nice, because if I only had to rely on the supercharging network, it wouldn't be that okay. I would still be okay, but just because I can utilize the other charging network makes the whole experience with the car so much greater. And as for space in the Model 3, it's going to be pretty good. It will be. I've seen the dimensions, well, like rough dimensions, and it seems to be actually the biggest one out there. It will be longer than Nissan Leaf and Ioniq, which are considered the largest one in that class. And it will be, it will be pretty good. So that's always nice for people who want it for as a like a family car or something. And also another thing, really nice thing, is that yes, we heard about it, but it will most likely get a tow bar. No other car in that class will have tow bar. That's very good reasons to get a Model 3. You can use it, like most likely it can replace your fossil car because of the Supercharger network and all these other reasons I just listed. But there are also some reasons why maybe you don't want a Model 3, because it will be kind of expensive. You know, they will most likely put it on a higher price range, along with BMW i3, you know, the Volkswagen e-Golf, and also the Ampere E. So you know that high, and if you have a limited budget and you only can afford, let's say, a Nissan Leaf or Zoe, then yes, even the Model 3 will be out of your reach. And also the Model 3 is not a hatchback; it's a sedan. So that means that the trunk opening, it only opens the trunk area, not the whole back door with the glass. Whereas the other cars in the same class, they can do it. So that means even when you fold down the seats, you know, it kind of has a little bit limited loading space there. So that's a little bit killer. You can't just put in big furnitures in there and close it. Yeah. But then on the other hand, yes, I mean, it depends if you want that car or not. I mean, for hauling stuff. Yeah, another problem with Model 3 is that there's probably some waiting time. If you order one today, I don't know when you will get it, maybe in 2 years. You can of course try to buy one second hand, but those will be expensive, because those guys who bought them to resell them, they will try to make a profit, just like what they did with the Model S. So yes, you have to wait. That's unfortunate. Another thing is that there's kind of weird like dash design. There's no instrument cluster, but you know, that might not be a big problem, because to me it sounds weird to not have an instrument cluster. You only have that center screen to have everything in. But you know, the Nissan Leaf displays its speedometer in the center anyway, and you know what? When I use autopilot, I actually don't look at the instrument cluster. I look at the road, and many times I don't actually look at all of that dash stuff, and I don't see the whole blinking until it beeps. So yes, maybe hopefully Elon is right and I'm wrong. You won't need that instrument cluster. So yeah. And one last thing that might like prevent you from buying a Model 3 is that it might even be too large, because it's actually pretty large for its class. And if you only need like a small city car, you have tight spot in your garage, or you just want a car which is easy to park, then maybe, you know, an i3 or Zoe is better for you. And at least Zoe is also cheaper. So, and also I guess the last reason for not getting Model 3 is that if you never ever drive long trips, you only drive around the city, maybe you have a Model S or something to go with the long trips, then yeah, maybe there's no reason to buy a Model 3, you know. But you know, I should also mention the Supercharger queue, because that is always a thing that bothers people. Like, they are concerned that, oh, it's gonna be doomsday now. But you know, I think it will not be that bad. I mean, yeah, because Supercharger team is always ahead, so they will always expand and build according to the growth of the population, we call it that. So in Norway, for instance, you know, we have lots of Superchargers here. It was a lot more than in the beginning. So in countries where, you know, there are lots of cars, they will also expand a lot. That's why Norway has a lot more Superchargers than, for instance, Sweden or Finland. And that's what I expect will happen when all the Model 3 starts rolling out everywhere, and you know, they start charging everywhere. Then Supercharger team will always be ahead. And also, it's like most likely Model 3 owners might have to pay for it. It seems like the free supercharging is like some exclusive feature for Model S and X. So that also means that not everyone will maybe use those superchargers. They will only use it when it's necessary on long trips and whatever. So you might prevent those local chargers to go there, you know. But also another nice feature about the Model 3 is that, like I mentioned, you know, you have the CHAdeMO adapter, so you can choose whether you want to go on that one or supercharger. And because you have to pay for the supercharger, you know, there's like a smaller gap to move over to paying CHAdeMO or something. So it might not be that bad. That's what I'm suspecting. That Tesla will not let it be like really bad. No, I don't believe in that. But you know, if you don't want or if you don't need a Model 3, then which car should you go for? Well, there is just one car today that you can go for, and that is Opel Ampera E or Chevrolet Bolt EV. But it has a pretty good range, but you also have to keep in mind that the charging is kind of slow. I tested it. It charges maybe like 40 kilowatt on average. It was a little bit disappointing, and it also taper off already at 60%. But on the other hand, it has a great space and also pretty powerful for that car, and also good equipment like safety features and convenient features. Also pretty good efficiency, but maybe not at a higher speed because of the like boxy shape, but it's good for most people. But unfortunately, it has a weight line, and actually it seems like it will cost about the same as Model 3. But it seems to be more available today for those people in the right market. So yes, but if you like could wait, then which car could you also go for? Okay, there are 4 cars I should mention. You have the Nissan Leaf, 60 kilowatt hour. It's gonna be like a brand new Leaf with maybe even, yeah, most likely also self-driving capabilities. How good it will be, we don't know yet. Tesla seems to be the best so far. Even the Mercedes or whatever, Infiniti and BMW can't really match the Mercedes self-driving features and stability and all that. And next car that could also be worth waiting for is Hyundai Ioniq. They will also come out with a bigger battery pack. And also Ioniq is also working on self-driving. Whether that car will get it or not, we don't know. Maybe they will only update the battery pack, but it's still kind of far out there. We haven't seen a prototype, we haven't seen the specs yet or something, so it could be a long time. And also BMW will, like, I heard rumors, seen some rendered pictures of an i5. It looks like a stretch i3. It doesn't really look like a modified, like a more 5 series or something, but it would be cool if they make one like with a big battery pack, let's say 60 kilowatt hour or something, and some power and some whatever. And the last car that I should mention is the Jaguar I-Pace, which is fully electric Jaguar, some kind of crossover small SUV. It's smaller than Model X, and it's also more like based on the specs, it seems to be more expensive than the other cars. So it more or less competes in Tesla territory there. But again, you know, all these 4 cars I mentioned, the problem, like the issue with them is that they don't have the supercharger network support. So yes, if you want to use the car for long trips and stuff like that, then Model 3 is the car to go for. Yeah, so yes, I hope this was useful for you. I'm actually getting pretty excited about the Model 3. I want to test one. But it's going to be a while until I can test one in Europe. But maybe I'll ask Tesla if they can lend me one. No, they're not going to lend me one. No, the press will get it first. I get it last. Yeah, that's just how it is. But yes, cool. This is awesome. You know, awesome time we are entering now. This is wow. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So yes, I think that's it for now. If you have any questions or like comments, please comment. And also, as usual, if you want to support my work, then please check out my Patreon link. Even $1 per month helps a lot. So thank you very much. Bye bye.